All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a huge skill for any product owner, how you talk to your clients. We're going to break down a really practical playbook that's designed to help you lead every single one of those conversations with way more confidence and clarity. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You walk in with a perfect plan, you know the product inside and out, but then somewhere along the line, the whole meeting just goes completely off the rails, and you walk out with vague requests, priorities that are all over the place, and just that sinking feeling of frustration. Well, today we're going to flip the script on that for good. Okay, so let's really get into this. At its heart, being a product owner is a high-stakes communication game. You are that critical bridge. When you succeed, you deliver real, tangible value. But when things fail, a lot of the time it all comes crashing down because of a simple miscommunication. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to introduce this communication playbook. We'll cover how to set yourself up for success from the get-go, how to navigate all that tricky stuff like scope and change, and then how to master demos and those tough conversations. And we'll wrap it all up with a handy cheat sheet you can start using like tomorrow. Let's get right to the heart of it. We're looking at a totally proven system here. A communication playbook designed to give you the actual tools and scripts you need to be in the driver's seat of your client conversations, not just reacting to them. So what exactly is this playbook? Well, think of it as your secret weapon. It's a practical guide, and it's packed with specific phrases, email templates, the whole shebang. And get this. What's super cool about the source material is that it provides everything in both English and Spanish, which makes it an incredible resource if you're working with international teams. Okay, let's move on to setting the stage for success. You know, great communication doesn't just start when you open your mouth. It starts way before that, with solid preparation. This whole section is about laying the groundwork so you can win the meeting before it even begins. So before you even think about hopping on a client call, the playbook says you've got to have these 4 things absolutely locked down. What's the real problem we're solving here? How are we actually going to measure if this is valuable? What are our biggest, scariest assumptions? And, this one's crucial, what decisions do I need the client to make in this specific meeting? Getting clear on this sets the entire tone. And here's the playbook in action. I mean, just look at these opening lines. They're so simple, so direct, and they immediately take control and set a clear purpose. You're telling everyone in the room exactly why you're there and what you're going to achieve together. There's just zero room for confusion. Now, this is a real game changer. During that discovery phase, you have to stop asking about features and start asking about outcomes. A question like, what outcome would make this a success, totally flips the script. You go from talking about a laundry list of tasks to having a strategic discussion about real, meaningful business value. All right, now for the main event. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where most projects get super tricky, managing scope, timelines, and, you know it, those inevitable change requests. This section is all about how to turn those potential arguments into actual teamwork. Okay, this sentence right here. It might just be the most powerful tool a product owner has. The playbook really hammers this home. Being crystal clear about what is out of scope is just as important as defining what's in. This one line can save you from a world of headache and misunderstanding later on. Now, what's so smart about this slide is the way it talks about timelines. Notice it's not a promise of one specific day. It's a 2-week window, which is so much more honest and realistic. And even better, it doesn't just mention a risk, it gives a pre-planned fallback option. That right there, that's how you build rock-solid trust with the client. Okay, here it comes, the dreaded question. You know the one, the big, shiny, oh, by the way, idea that drops right in the middle of a sprint. Your first gut reaction might be to just shut it down and say no, but there's a much, much better way. And here it is. This response is just perfect. See what's happening here? First, you make them feel heard. That's a good idea. You validate them. But then immediately, you clearly and calmly state the trade-off. You're not the bad guy saying no. You're the strategic partner presenting a choice. You've just turned a potential fight into a strategy session. Brilliant. So now let's get into some of the more advanced stuff. This is where we level up and go from good to great. We're talking about running demos that actually accomplish something and learning how to handle those really tough conversations that, let's be honest, everyone tries to avoid.
So, the key to a great demo isn't just showing off every little button you built. It's about being the director of the conversation. By explicitly asking the client to focus their feedback on whether the new stuff meets the success criteria we all agreed on, you keep the whole thing productive. It stops it from getting bogged down in stuff like, I don't really like that shade of blue.
This right here, this is the 1-2 punch for handling pushback. Empathy, then firmness. Step 1, empathy. I understand the urgency. I totally get why this is important. Step 2, firm choices. You lay out clear options that protect the project's quality and timeline. You're not dictating, you're empowering them to choose the path forward.
And this isn't just for when you're talking face to face. The playbook gives you an email template for explaining the impact of a change, and the structure is just chef's kiss. It's perfect. You acknowledge their request, you clearly state the impact on things like time and scope, you present a few clear options, and then you ask for a decision. It's clean, it's professional, and it forces action.
Wow, okay, we have covered a lot. So how do we boil all this down into something you can actually use? Well, let's talk about the Pocket Cheat Sheet, the key tools you can take with you into your very next meeting. Okay, think of this as your new best friend. Always tie the scope back to business value. Always give options that have clear impacts. And my absolute favorite is this one. Don't just say no, always offer alternatives. That simple change is a huge mindset shift that turns you from a gatekeeper into a real strategic partner. And here it is, the 6-step dance for every single client meeting. If you just follow this flow, you really can't go wrong. You start with a clear opening and agenda, you move through discovery, you define scope and value, you discuss timelines and risk, you lock down decisions and owners, and you end with concrete next steps and dates. It's repeatable, it's reliable, it's your recipe for success.
Look, at the end of the day, all of this comes down to one big mindset shift. Your job is not to be an order taker. You're not there to say yes to everything. You are the strategic guardian of the product. Your real value comes from maximizing the impact of your team's hard work, managing risks before they blow up, and always, always protecting that end user experience.
And that brings us to the end. So I'll just leave you with one final thought to chew on. After everything we've covered, the scripts, the frameworks, that 6-step flow, what's the one thing, just one? What's the one play from this playbook that you're going to try in your very next client call to level up your game? Thanks for joining The Explainer.